I'm so hot I can't sleep. If you are in perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, you're having trouble sleeping and you're pretty sure that your trouble sleeping is related to what's going on with your hormones, then you are in the right place because that's what we're talking about in today's video. Hi, I'm Dana Lavoie. I am an acupuncturist and herbalist with over 15 years experience specializing in women's health, and I'm here to help you learn to use customized Chinese herbs supported by the best diet and lifestyle for your hormones to feel great during and after menopause. And getting good sleep is definitely a part of that. So, what is it about the hormonal changes that happen during menopause that can make it so hard to sleep? Well, there's two big ones that I want to talk about and then a couple of secondary ones. The first big one is heat, right? You're like, I'm so hot, I can't sleep. You're having night sweats, you're having those like hot flashes at night where you're just feeling really, really hot. The heat is waking you up, it's keeping you from getting good quality sleep. Yes, heat can make it hard to sleep. So, sleeping cool has been shown to be better quality sleep for sure. It is said to increase the amount of melatonin that your body makes, which is a hormone, which is great for your hormones overall. Also, sleeping cool can increase your metabolism to make weight loss easier. Just sleeping cool is definitely better quality sleep. So, why do the changes of menopause tend to make us hot at night? Well, Western medicine would say that it's decreased hormone levels, decreased female hormone levels like estrogen and progesterone. Decreased progesterone can make it hard to fall asleep. Decreased estrogen can cause the body to send out these messages that tell us to heat up and make us really hot. So, they would say the solution is to take hormone replacement to bring those hormone levels back up and also practice good sleep habits. And we're going to go over what those are in just a minute. But Chinese medicine has a little bit different take on it, similar but slightly different. Chinese medicine says that the reason you get hot at night is because of a decline in your yin, your watery essence. Now, yin watery essence is very similar in a lot of ways to female hormones, so it's kind of the same thing. Western medicine says your female hormones are declining. Chinese medicine says your yin is declining. So the solution in Chinese medicine is to increase your watery essence. And it makes sense inside of Chinese medicine because you've got fire and water, yin and yang, fire and water energy in your body. If the water goes way down, the fire that you have, it's just raging out of control and making you hot. That's what's happening. You don't have enough water to control your fire. Now, what you don't want to do is go in and just ice yourself down because this is just going to get rid of your fire. But that's normal fire. You don't have too much fire. You just don't have enough water to control it. But you don't want to get rid of all your fire. Fire is what, spurs your metabolism and your libido and keeps your bones strong, right? So Chinese medicine has a way of going in increasing the watery essence, but also at the same time what they call clearing empty heat. So it's controlling the heat symptoms, but in a way that doesn't just drain all your fire energy. At the same time that you're building up your yin watery essence, it's a really elegant solution. And just so you know, inside of Chinese medicine, I always thought this was fascinating. If you have too much fire in your body, you will be hot all the time. If you have a normal amount of fire, but not enough water to control it, you will have heat that comes and goes in flashes and is worse at night, which is what a lot of women have during menopause. So Chinese medicine, the solution would be to increase the yin watery essence in your body, and you would do this with certain Chinese herbs and also clear empty heat, which also you would do with customized Chinese herbs. And then also they would recommend good sleep habits, same as before, but also would definitely also recommend a little bit of exercise and some stress management, some Tai Chi or Qigong for the best results. So the solutions to this are similar in Western and Chinese medicine. Do something to increase your female hormones, your yin watery essence, but you can go with the hormones or you can go with the herbs. The herbs also include ones to clear that empty heat, which is nice because it gives you some upfront quick relief. And then good sleep habits are going to help no matter what. Okay, so that was the first major way that menopause messes with our sleep, the heat at night. The second major way that menopause messes with our sleep is actually decreasing the quality of our sleep. So, in younger women before menopause, it's more common for them to have trouble falling asleep. If they have insomnia or trouble sleeping, it's more likely they have trouble falling asleep. The kind of trouble sleeping that you are fine until you hit menopause and all of a sudden now you're having trouble sleeping, it's much more common for that to be the kind of thing where you fall asleep okay, but then a couple of hours later you're awake. You wake up repeatedly during the night. You wake up and can't go back to sleep. You can't get into that place where you're sleeping deeply and for a long time. It's like every little thing wakes you up, or there you don't even need a reason. You just wake up and you're not getting that deep, long quality sleep. So, why does this happen during menopause? Well, Western medicine would say it's from declining progesterone and estrogen, right? They're too low, they're out of balance with each other. It's these hormones declining because of menopause that is causing you not to sleep well. And so they would say the solution is to take hormone replacement and use good sleep habits. So, very similar to number one. In Chinese medicine, one of the things I love about Chinese medicine is it's so sophisticated. So in Chinese medicine, there are all these different patterns of poor sleep. And there's a very specific pattern of poor sleep that relates to this pattern of you were doing fine, your hormones started changing during menopause, and now you fall asleep, but you wake up, or you can't sleep deeply and well for a long time. That is a very particular pattern in Chinese medicine. And there are very specific herbs to counteract that pattern. And the image of the way these herbs work is like this. At night, when you go to sleep, your awake consciousness goes inside your body and it goes to a place where it rests. Kind of makes sense. Well, the place where it rests is like a room in your heart. And that room can be furnished really, really well or really, really poorly. If that room is furnished really, really well with comfortable couches with lots of cushions and a four-poster bed and a plush rug and the perfect temperature, and it's like the most relaxing, comfortable environment you could imagine, your awake spirit gets there and it is happy to just rest as long as you want. That tends to lead to good quality sleep. But if that room, people start taking the furniture out of it and it's like nothing but four walls and a floor, there's no rug, there's no furniture, there's no couch, there's no bed, your little spirit goes in there and it's like, I can't get comfortable. I want to come out now. I want to come out now. I want to come out now, all during the night. And the herbs used in Chinese medicine for this pattern of sleep, they strengthen the energy in your body, which is a combination of what we call your heart blood and your kidney yin. So it's part of your yin watery essence, but it's a specific part. And what it does is it furnishes that room again. And so it doesn't just help with sleep in general or with falling asleep, but it specifically helps with staying asleep and with being able to get into that place where you're sleeping deeply and for long stretches at a time. So it is due to declining watery essence, and yin blood is kind of part of yin, but it's a solution is to take herbs that are going to replenish that blood and yin, but it's different herbs than in the first one because it's a different aspect of your yin. And it's just one of the things that I love about Chinese medicine. And of course, you can have both of these happening at the same time. You can be hot at night and you can have this, sometimes you wake up because you're hot, but sometimes you just are awake because you can't sleep. So sometimes you need a combination of the solutions for both of these. Absolutely, yes, that can happen. So from a Chinese medicine perspective, the solution to this second type of menopausal sleep trouble would be herbs that tonify the heart blood and the kidney yin, and herbs that harmonize the heart and the kidney, because those are the patterns in Chinese medicine that tend to keep you awake during menopause. And then they would also recommend good sleep habits, which we are going to cover. And they would also still recommend, some Qigong, some Tai Chi, some meditation, some exercise, and a healthy diet. Okay, so those are the two main ways that menopause messes with your sleep. It makes you really hot, or it just makes you unable to go into a deep sleep for long stretches. And those both tend to be caused by decrease of your feminine essence, whether you want to call it your yin energy or your female hormones. Now, there are a couple of secondary ways that menopause can also mess with your sleep that I wanted to touch on briefly. One is to do with stress. Because of the hormonal changes that are happening, especially decreasing progesterone, we tend to become more sensitive to stress. Like little things affect us more than they used to. And so, stress, if your stress hormones are too high, are being triggered too many times in a day, are too high too often, they can get dysregulated where they do this thing where they just kind of peak at night when you're supposed to be resting, right? And that can really mess with your sleep. So overall, managing your stress hormone levels is quite important. And to do this, you can do meditation, you can do deep breathing. Sometimes Western medicine will recommend something like antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication. Chinese medicine, of course, would recommend meditation practices, but also there are herbs that can help with this in particular. And so those would be combined with your other herbs if needed. And then there's also blood sugar. If your blood sugar is dysregulated, then this can mess with your sleep. And so I wanted to mention this because it's so important for women during menopause. Eating a diet that is designed to keep your blood sugar stable sometimes can really, really help with your sleep. And so we'll talk about that a little bit, but I wanted to mention it here because stress hormone levels being dysregulated and blood sugar hormone levels, insulin being dysregulated, those can mess with your sleep as well as your female hormone changing. And during menopause, we become more sensitive to stress, our stress hormone levels, it's easy for them to rise because of what's happening during menopause. And women tend to become much more sort of insulin resistant and sensitive to eating sugar during menopause as well. So it's worth mentioning that these two things might need more attention from you during menopause than they did before menopause because menopause is making them worse. Okay. So I want to move on to good sleep habits. What are good sleep habits? Good sleep habits are things that are going to take wherever your sleep you're getting right now and maximize it. And they really do help. They are not going to address the underlying hormonal imbalance that is messing with your sleep. So they're not the whole solution and they're not really the underlying root cause, but they can definitely help. And I wanted to give you a rundown on what some of those are. So sleeping in a cool room, we've talked about that. That is beneficial. And I wanted to mention, though, from a Chinese medicine perspective, that does not mean sleeping with a fan blowing directly on you. Sleeping with a fan blowing directly on you is a big no-no in Chinese medicine because you're very vulnerable to what we call wind invasion while you are sleeping. Your protective energy levels are down. And that wind invasion in Chinese medicine can cause things like, you don't even want to know, Bell's palsy and, all different kinds of problems. So it's okay to cool the room, maybe have a fan outside the door, whatever you can do, but just don't have a fan blowing directly on you if you can help it while you're sleeping. But otherwise, you do want to sleep in a cool room. You want to sleep in a dark room, draw the shades, get better shades, get blackout curtains, turn out all the lights. Don't have a clock on your nightstand that's lit up at night. Make it as dark as possible in the room that you're sleeping in to the point where when you wave your hand in front of your face, you can't see it. Or use a sleep mask that just makes it really dark for you. You can do that as well. Sleeping in a really dark room helps your body to make more melatonin while you're sleeping, which has a lot of health benefits. Another good sleep habit is to decrease the amount of blue light that you are exposed to after sunset or at least for 2 hours before bedtime. And blue light comes from computers, LED lights, phones, iPads, things like that. So you have two choices. One is to get rid of all the blue light in your environment, like don't look at the LED TV or your computer or your phone or anything like that for 2 hours before bedtime. Or you can get blue light blocking glasses or clip-ons for your glasses so that even though the lights might be in the room, they're not getting to your eyes. Everything looks really kind of orange. And that works really well too. But either way, you want to decrease the blue light that's like getting to your eyeballs for a couple of hours before you go to bed. It really helps a lot. You want to have a regular bedtime and a regular time when you wake up. This is a great sleep habit to have. It will help regulate your sleep over time. And you can also use sleep aids. And again, these are not things to solve the underlying root cause of your sleep disturbance, but they can help. Some of my favorites are magnesium, and another favorite is melatonin. Sometimes L-theanine can be helpful, valerian. There are a bunch of different natural herbs and minerals that can help. You kind of take them at bedtime, and sometimes they help you fall asleep. Also, essential oils fall into the same category. They can be helpful as well. You can put a couple of drops on your pillow when you go to bed. You can diffuse them in the room you're sleeping in all through the night. That can be wonderful. And if you're having trouble not as much falling asleep, but staying asleep, one of my favorite blends for that is equal parts cedarwood and marjoram. I find that that essential oil combination helps with that staying asleep part of things. And the last good sleep habits that I want to talk about are something we touched on earlier, a low glycemic diet. So that is a diet that is designed to stabilize your blood sugar. There's a lot to talk about with that. I cannot overstate how healthy and beneficial that is for your hormones and your overall health once you hit menopause. So it's definitely something to look into working out more, attentively, because it can really help with sleep. And the last good sleep habit I want to talk about is exercise. If you are getting the right amount of exercise at the right times, that can help with sleep as well. And so if you're not getting any exercise, think about starting. You don't want to exercise necessarily right before bed, like not after 6 or 7 p.m., but getting some exercise earlier in the day can really help. And the other good sleep habit I want to talk about is caffeine. So if you are having trouble sleeping, I would recommend cutting out all caffeine. You can go to half calf and then green tea and then matcha and slowly cut it down. But sometimes even a half a cup of coffee, at 7 o'clock in the morning will cause problems sleeping in the middle of the night. There's chemical ways it can do that. I've seen the breakdown on it. So for some women, yes, for some women, no, but I would recommend getting off caffeine until you're sleeping well. And then if you want to try having it again a little bit in the morning and see if it messes with your sleep or not, okay. But if you're really having trouble sleeping, I would recommend cutting out the caffeine for a bit, because it can really make a difference. You think, oh, a cup of coffee at 7 in the morning isn't affect me in the middle of the night, but actually it can. So that is my roundup of good sleep habits. Now, obviously, you don't have to do all of them. If you're desperate for sleep, do all of them. But otherwise, just try some of them. Try the ones that are easy for you, and the ones that you like, and they can all help to improve your sleep. But so my bottom line is, don't ignore the part about correcting the underlying hormonal imbalance that is messing with your sleep because of menopause. Because it is possible to go through all of menopause and all the years post-menopause without having trouble sleeping. It's not just your hormone levels going down that necessarily causes trouble sleeping. No, it's if they go too low or they get out of balance with each other as they change. Those are the things that cause the sleep problems. So as long as you can keep your hormone levels from going lower than they're supposed to, even during or after menopause, and you can make sure that the hormone levels stay in harmony with each other, then you will be fine. And you'll still be able to sleep all during and after menopause. So there's definitely a way that you can work this out. If you're really having a lot of trouble sleeping, either some hormone level is too low or it's out of balance with another one. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions, I would love to chat with you. So put them in the comments. And if you'd like to learn more about how to find the exact right customized Chinese herbs, or learn more about the best diet for menopause or meditation and the best lifestyle, I have information about all of this. I have free gifts, downloads, free mini courses, and all kinds of ways that you can learn more about it for free on my website. So be sure and check that out, and just contact me if you have any questions. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Dana Lavoie, and I'll see you next time.